Excuse me. Oh, it's in the bitches. Aha. What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. I told you I would be back on Sunday for a hypothesis, my findings, after I had time to understand more about this collapse of these condominiums in Florida. Before I get into that, just a couple of housekeeping things I want to say to you. First, I may get up any second now and just switch to artificial light because we're going to lose light pretty soon. And I don't love the way that I'm being lit right now. It's petty, but that's what it is. There was also something I forgot to mention to you in our last talk when I talked about when I talked about drawing a brain fart. Anyways, in our last talk, what I forgot to also mention, because I was telling you all the stuff that was going on, you know, this sentencing of the murderer of George Floyd. And I said to you that at the time that they were talking about the collapse of this condominium in Florida, they cut in. I was over at Uncle's apartment. That's how I didn't even know there was a verdict coming. I didn't know anything, and I didn't know anything. And so when then they broke into that with this sentencing, and I was telling you, that's all happening, and the timing, and then all this is happening. And oh, by the way, what I forgot to mention was that there was Croak Tomorrow Joe signing yet another piece of legislation for these gay people. I've told you a million times, they must just have like Supreme Court justices and lawyers just on standby. Oh, gay? All right, approved. I don't know how we do it, and we just can't, and we just gay? Oh, that's approved. That's approved. What were they signing, Jedi? Well, they were signing some bullshit for this nightclub several years ago that got shot up by one of their own people. I remember that they put up some cover story that he was some Middle Eastern, a term we don't accept. He was some Middle Eastern man who was had been to the gay club or was warring with his own sexuality, something, and oh my God, he goes and shoots up the place. And I did extensive pieces on that at the time that it happened, and I had real doubts about the goings on that were being reported. I'm not one of these people that just looks for conspiracy and looks for fakery, but I'm a very intelligent, very astute human being. I'm a student of the one who created me, and I pay attention. And how could there still be water in my beard? A drop of water just hit my thumb. Thought it was dry. Anybody else? Anyway, a full drop of water just fell out of my beard. I'm over it. And there they were, all gathered around. But you done took your Croak Tomorrow ass to Tulsa. Nothing for the niggers. Black farmers. There was money in the recent stimulus bill for black farmers. Then you got white people coming out of the woodworks contesting any money for black farmers. But the gay people are just sailing by and getting stuff. But his language, when he signed this nonsense, he's making it a historical site. This nightclub, this place of sin and ill repute, according to the divine. And because again, I tell you, we don't give a damn what white people say, do, think, or feel. The word of the one who creates is the final word on everything. And everybody else can kiss our entire ass. Entire. Like parts I don't even know I have. But there he was. And what made it stand out is because usually if I'm over at Uncle's house, he has the air conditioner and a fan going. So it's very noisy. And I can't really hear the TV. That's something else. And the atmospherics of it felt to me like some major signing of something. There the people were gathered around and it looked very weighty, you know, and it was this post nightclub bullshit. I'm like, really? That's what's important right now while buildings are collapsing and, you know, sentencings are being held down and or handed down, and this is important now? It was out of place. It was out of time. It was tone deaf. And it was and is irrelevant. I have no issue with anyone's suffering or imagined suffering, but nobody gets to step in front of the line ahead of African people anywhere on this earth. You understand? Because one of their own goes into a nightclub and shoots up some of them. That's, while tragic, I still have 46 blocks of my people who the white devil went door to door, block by block, murdering and killing my people. And I don't see Tulsa, the entire area, being named as a historic site. I just haven't seen it. There are lunch counters where we have been brutalized. I don't see any historic sites. There are trees and buildings where African people have been lynched by this white devil. And I don't see any of those being proclaimed historical sites. So I'm just getting a little up to here with this ill repute bullshit. You understand? Because I love roasted broccoli and cauliflower. Unless I tell you that, you don't know that I love that. But I'm telling you that I love roasted broccoli and cauliflower, and the way that I drizzle it with my olive oil and my sea salt and pepper, and I drizzle honey and lemon. I squeeze fresh lemon, and I what do you call it? I grate the lemon peel so that I get the zest of the lemon. And I have a whole thing that I do to it. A little roasted garlic. Sometimes I throw in tomatoes. But you don't know that unless I tell you. But now I've told you. And so now I want to be seen as the guy that eats roasted broccoli and cauliflower. And I want to now reach out to everyone else who eats roasted broccoli and cauliflower. And we are now a race of people. I'm not a man. I'm not an African. I am someone who eats broccoli and cauliflower. And so I want my rights for that. And I want to be able to marry any other human being that loves roasted broccoli and cauliflower, whether they be a paraplegic, a quadriplegic, the deaf, somebody without limbs. We're all in a special group now because I say so. And that's how you're going to see me now. And anytime that you mention any other vegetable, I will be personally offended and insulted by it. And certainly if you do not say roasted broccoli and cauliflower and you just say cauliflower and broccoli, I will take that as a trope and I will be highly offended and I will want some uh, uh, um, bullying law and some hate crime law written for me because I should be able to have my roasted broccoli and cauliflower, and everyone is supposed to respect that now. Do you understand? And one day I'm going to say, because I feel the rumblings in my soul, I just feel the rumblings, I feel like I'm actually going to turn into a broccoli stalk, and that is how you, that will be my new pronoun and my surname, and you refer to me as broccoli and not Jedi. You will respect me as a stalk of broccoli. That's what I want. And I want my own bathroom that says broccoli on it. If it says any other vegetable, and if broccoli indeed is spelled wrong, I will see that as a hate crime and I will want legislation for that. And any stove across the country where anyone who's attempted to make roasted broccoli and cauliflower, and maybe they forgot about it because they got a phone call and it burned, you know, their broccoli and cauliflower got burned and charred in the oven. I want all those ovens rolled out to national sites and be declared national memorials because they were fixing roasted broccoli and cauliflower at the time of said disaster. So that's what I want. I want that right now. That's what I want. And this comes first over black people. Because I'm putting this first over being an African. Yeah, that feels right to me. Yeah. Because, you know, as someone who loves broccoli and cauliflower, I've been just so oppressed for the last 2 years. And I don't think it's right. And I shouldn't have to suffer anymore. I'm just over it. I just am. I just am. But there he was with all the, I don't know who the hell these people were around him, and there he was signing it and speaking in terms and tones as if this was really a weighty issue. You know, one of our brothers was shot 80, 40 or 80 something times or 50 something times on the eve of his wedding outside of a nightclub, I think in New York City many years ago. Why isn't that a national memorial? Huh? Why isn't the home that was stormed into of Breonna Taylor, why isn't that a national memorial? Why? Thank you, sweet D, Sean Bell. I love when you guys got receipts. I just saw that because, you know, it comes up on my screen real quick and I usually don't see anything. But Sean Bell. So why isn't that a national memorial? Or the doorstep, the very steps that led up to the home of Amadou Diallo, who was shot 40-something times because the White Devils claimed his wallet looked like a gun. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. And as I say, I have gay people in my family, and I've spoken extensively about that. But I'm just getting to my wits' end. I'm just getting to my wits' end because it's like you know that the dishes have to be washed, and you're cleaning everything around the house except for the fucking dishes, and that's what's stinking up the house. We are those dishes. And whether white people like it or not, you're going to have to deal with our black ass as long as you exist. That's the fact of it. That's the reality. And the more you try and push our shit under the rug, the more furious we become, and the more treacherous your day of wrath becomes. That's what's real. A damn nightclub. When was that anyways? You know? I'm over it. I also want to talk to you about this damn alleged collapse, everybody. In my readings and findings, and listening and watching to witnesses closest to the event, I am, until I find some other train of thought, I am absolutely convinced that this was controlled demolition. I'll just run the tape for you first. Now, you know, oh, here it is. I'm convinced. And we're going to explore the why of it. That's what we will speculate about, because there are many potential hypotheses that I find valid in my mental reckoning as it relates to this event. Some key things that I expected to hear and learn before I even saw any of it were validated. In fact, why don't I, before I get into, first let me show you this, and then I want to look at the Roman two walls here. But let me show you this first. It might be a good idea. Well, I'll do it after. But first I'm going to show you this. Come on, bitch. Okay. Just a second. All right. Watch very carefully, everybody. Watch. Now watch the second piece. Straight down into its own footprint. We're going to see it again. In fact, I think they actually run it again. So let me cue it up, and I'm just going to let it run. But before I let it run again, I want you to notice something. There are some lights on one of the buildings that's flashing. Forget that. Oh, it's still playing. Damn it. I stopped it. Excuse me. In the actual pieces that are going down, I want you to notice there's flashes inside of those. All right? And generally, in a typical demolition, you take out the center. If it's one building, usually the penthouse will crumple and collapse in. It looks like it just went into the building on its own. Building's still standing. Then usually you see these pops and cracks, and that center structure goes down. One of the tall tales of controlled demolition is that you're able to take down something without touching the thing that's right next to it. Right next to it. On 9/11, the first tower, the second tower to be hit, by the way, is the first one to collapse. And you've got 120 stories sitting next to you. You got to at least bump into it. Not a single scratch. It went directly down, touching nothing next to it. You understand? And that's what we have here. Let's run it again. There's the centerpiece. Now watch there. Straight down. And before it runs again, well, let me shut up and let it run again. I think it's going to run again. Then you see what is known as pyroclastic flow. That's all that dust that you see. Down it goes. You see the flashes. Watch the other building. You'll see the flashes. Down it goes. Independent. It goes down. And then you have pyroclastic flow. That's that cauliflower looking smoke. There goes the center section. You see the flashes? You see the flashes? And then down it goes. You see? Into its own footprint in less than probably 5 seconds. One more time. This is in slow motion that they've run it. There it goes. And they've even gotten in closer on it. And then down goes the other piece. We've also learned that those parts that collapsed, if you were to go to this building, this portions that collapse actually face the water. So these would have been the condos with the best view. The best view. Let's go back. We're just going to run it one more time. Okay. Wait now. Down it goes. And then you see lights in the second one. And down it goes. Wait now. They're going to show it again. Down goes the center section. There's your pyroclastic flow. And then down it goes. We'll let the full video play out. They're going to show it in slow motion again, and it's going to be at a closer, a close-up. It'll be zoomed in. Down it goes. Here comes the second one. Down it goes, straight down. But here's the thing. Well, shut up, Jedi. You said you're going to let it play. Let it play. Wait now. Now there they are. Zoomed in. Down. And you saw those flashes before that went down. And there you see there's a pulse. You saw pulsing lights in that second one there. And down it goes. You see? Now. Oh, it's still going. How much is left? Now, here's the tall tale thing, everybody. I live in California. And while I left California for many years, I was here in January of 1994 when they had the Northridge quake. It wasn't the Northridge quake because I lived in the valley I lived in Reseda on Sherman Way. And 2 blocks from where I live was a street called Wilbur. And all the seismologists said the epicenter was around Wilbur Street in the San Fernando Valley. Well, that doesn't sound glitzy enough, so they called it the Northridge quake. But why I mention it now is because one of my very good buddies at the time, he's always taking pictures. So we got in he had one of those things like O.J. Simpson drove, but his was lowered and bounced like this and tinted windows and all the crap. Bronco. And we literally went around driving around to take pictures of destruction. Buildings that had collapsed. The most famous one, because of the death toll, was a place called Northridge Meadows. It was an apartment complex. It was called Northridge Meadows, and it collapsed. And 16 people just there alone died in the instant that the earthquake hit. I know what a collapsed building looks like. I know there were portions of Northridge University that collapsed. Even our parking structure at the university had collapsed. I know what it looks like. I've seen it. I've been up close to it. I've touched it. I've felt it. When something collapses, it collapses. Here you have, only way you can have uniform structures that weigh hundreds of thousands of tons of concrete to go down that fast is that means all of the structure that holds it up has to fail simultaneously, so that if you have a four-legged table, if you kick out one of the legs, you wouldn't expect it to go straight down like this. You would expect it to lean in the direction of the part that's been compromised. We don't have to be physicists or engineers to know that. You kick out the leg and oh my God, it leaned that way. Oh, the leg, it leans because the leg is out. You have to put a cardboard, do something. But if we kick out one leg and the whole table goes down straight down, we'd go, wait a second, what happened to the other three legs? So that's what we're asking here. Everything had to collapse at once. And the only way you get that is through explosives. We've found out, just happens the day before or earlier that day, they had just had their 40-year inspection. There were engineers all over the place. People were doing work on the roof. An anomaly, just like on 9/11, 2 weeks before the event, they had had a power down in the building. No employees were allowed to come in. Just engineers were going in and out, so they could get to the under infrastructure of the building, the elevators and the box columns. There was 47 box columns, steel box columns that made those buildings unique. 47 of them. That building was strong enough to withstand anything. It had been hit by a 707, the largest plane of its day, and it was nothing. It's like this fly swatter. This is how they describe the Twin Towers. You see there's netting, kind of like your screen door in your house. So if I punch my ink pen through it, because of the way that it's made, it doesn't affect the structure around it. Just wherever I poke it at, that's all. That's how the Twin Towers were. So when you have the entire thing coming down, and oh, by the way, what we also saw in this video is no resistance. Physics is the law of God. So if you are coming down in a parachute and you hit a mountain, that's going to slow your momentum. And then the mountain hits, something else. And then all that's slowing you down. But when you come down and you parachute and you hit a mountain and it don't stop you, that means the mountain has been compromised in some kind of way. Well, how come he's not slowing down because of the mountain? So in this case, in the case of this shit and 9/11, when you have 100 fucking stories, if you want to tell me the plane hit on the 70-something floor, okay, fine, I'll buy it. But that means you got 60-something stories beneath you that are all supposed to stop you every time one stop. Eventually it's going to stop because the rest of the structure is firm. It's not going nowhere, and didn't shit happen to it. Unless you use high energy explosives like thermate. Okay, fine. Now, see that again. Wait, am I upside down? I'm upside down. My bad. Now, let's see this again now. No resistance, just free fall. That's the key word, free fall, everybody. Watch the second piece. Free fall. Down she goes, no resistance. That means nothing. That means the whole thing was just a ball of sand waiting for somebody to just go, oh my God, it all collapsed. Come on, watch. Down it goes. You see those flashes in this building over here? Wait when they run it again. Wait now. Run it again, bitch. You saw those flashes. Now you're going to see flashes in this building over here. You see? Don't tell me shit. Don't do it. This is an explosion, everybody. And, well, let me go back. I just saw that. I'm thinking right now. Wait, yeah, I'm right. Look. You saw those flashes, and down it goes. And then you see the pyroclastic flow, which lets you know that's hot, high energy explosives. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Because I was already hearing that they were like, oh, there's hot spots, there's fires underneath. Well, how? The other thing is this a condominium building with fancy people, and in all the rubble, I've not seen one piece of Versace couch, a Frigidaire refrigerator, a home washing machine and dryer. Didn't see a chair. Didn't see a veranda, a mirror, a picture that may have been in somebody's house. Never saw curtains blowing in the wind. No desk, no beds, no mattresses, no railing. I haven't seen a door that looked like, I haven't seen a toilet commode, a lamp, a flat screen TV. Just haven't seen anything that would be in a goddamn condo. Why am I not seeing it? Huh? Why? Here's the other thing that I was saying, everybody. All the names I'm hearing are Stein and Steen and Cohen and Carr and all these Zionist surnames. Then I had to do a check. I said, well, what's going on in goddammit this illegal fucking shithole called Israel? Turns out Netanyahu just lost the fucking election on June 13th. That would be the 13th would have been 2 weeks ago today. Was June 13th. 2 weeks ago today. I also noted for you that this took place on a Friday. Friday is significant to Muslims and Jews. I don't have all the answers. I'm just here to tell you what my findings are. Now, first let me see who's here. But see, if I read y'all, I'm gonna get involved. So let me wait to come to y'all. Now, here's some things that we also learned. Fire and rescue was on the scene like that. Like that. They were on the scene. There was one lady who said that it sounded like a bomb. Let's get her. She thought she heard a bomb. But before I go to her, since this is right in front of me, let me just play it now because it'll be the easiest way. Wait now. Just a second. What's he got on his head? Huh? Class, anyone? Huh? I think there's going to be another shot of him. What's her last name? Huh? Look, what's he got on his head? You see what I'm saying? There's a pattern happening that I already had, and I was looking to not find that. But that's what I'm finding. It's kind of like you walk into your house and you go, I smell something. And you start sniffing. Damn it, it's that garbage. I thought I took it out. I knew it. You just smelled something. You didn't know what you was going to find. But I'm finding things, do you understand? So, wait now. Wait. Wait now. I don't know why the volume on this always wants to act up when I try and play it. I try and turn it up. No problem turning it down. I touch the phone, the volume goes all the way down. I mean, calls do I miss because I didn't hear it ring. I'm over it. Why is it so low? Oh. Let's shut that down.
What? Is somebody on a stretcher there? It's hard to see.
We're zooming in, but it's a little bit blurry. But we do know there's a triage station set up there to help with the people who have been rescued from. Really, truly, what happened was this building started to collapse. We do think collapse.
You ain't seen
on
a collapse. And even now, when they show you pictures of the Twin Towers, on the rare times that they show it, because the shit is too obvious, they're showing you one thing and telling you that what you're seeing is not what you're seeing. And then we saw the building collapse as they show the footage. So your mind goes, you're seeing a building collapse. No, bitch, you're seeing a building become pulverized dust in midair in front of you, floor by fucking floor going down. That's what you're watching. Let's be clear. Let's be real clear. Because Joe Biden knows that 9/11 was done by the government. And he knows how to say Black Lives Matter. So let's be real clear. Let's be real clear.
100 units are on the scene from both Miami-Dade.
Crews right now, obviously this is
Wait now. I want you to say that there was a bomb.
To Annalise Garcia right now, who is live at the scene as close as she can get to it right now.
Yeah, Annalise, have you learned anything new since we spoke to you last?
JC, we are speaking to a lot of people passing by here, and we're working to find out more. What they are telling us is that certain floors are starting to get cleared, and that's what they're hearing from firefighters on the scene. Let me show you where we're standing. We are on Harding right now, which is parallel to Collins.
Now, this is what it looks like from the street. Remember I told you, the part that collapsed is in the back that faces all the cushy condos that face the water. So that's what it looks like to this reporter staying on the street.
That's where that building is, on 88th and Collins. Now, this is the front side of the building. Where the damage happened is the back side of the building. You were just seeing some live pictures of what that looks like.
Well, I want her to tell me the part where they said they had a bomb.
Part of this building, we know that part of the pool was the pool door. So if you come back out live, you can see there to get these people out. Who came out, we were able to speak to actually somebody who was in the building. She lives on the 9th floor. She was asleep when this happened. She said it felt like a bomb went off. Take a listen to what she said.
She said it sounded like a bomb went off. Not, I heard something creaking. Listen, a building, think about if your roof collapsed right now. Just a roof. You'd expect to see there was some leakage weeks before, maybe a few months. Y'all been putting plastic up there, and you feel that part coming in, but just suddenly the whole entire thing. No, anytime you have universal, total, and complete collapse, everybody, you only get that from explosives, demolition. You can't. That's the fact of it. Now, anything else they want to say happened is just bullshit. And by the way, why aren't we hearing anything about any gas leaks? We know that these are condos. We assume they were cooking with gas or electricity, or, well, I know in Florida, there's a lot of places that are electric. So I'll allow that. Maybe maybe they were on electric, as far as like they cooked with electric. Ugh, the worst thing on earth. Um, it's some other things, you understand, but we're not seeing evidence of anything, and then it's just all in a nice pile that the demolition crews can just come and pick up and take away on dump trucks like they did on 9/11. You know, I can't hear this lady now.
The whole building shook like an earthquake. And what did you?
Go back.
It felt like a bomb went off. Take a listen to what she said. The whole building shook like an earthquake. And what did you think when you heard that? I opened my sliding glass and I saw a plume of dust. And then I opened the door and I saw that the building had pancakes in the back. Have you been in touch with your neighbors? Anybody? There's some people that are alive, but there's 2 lines that everybody's gone. Hopefully there's some people. They've been able to rescue some people because I heard some screams.
The whole building shook. And then that picture that I'm using for the thumbnail on this, there was an engineer that I watched, a structural engineer, that you could tell he didn't want to come to. It was explosives, but his demeanor and the way he was talking around it was like, I'm gonna eliminate this for your bitch ass, and this and this and this. And so now we just have to understand how it came away from the rest of the building with no problem and didn't pull the rest of the structure with it. I'll remind you, when they show you that open face and you see like there's a desk chair, like a office chair or something sitting there, go back now in your mind, go back to the Pentagon on 9/11. Remember, sheared off, and there was like offices that we could see in. You understand? Same thing. Same thing. There's something else I think I'm supposed to show you. Let me look at my list here now. Oh, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I'm just going to go in the order that I see it right now. There already is a $5 million class action lawsuit that's been filed already. All fucking ready, bitch. This is Sunday. Apparently, you can file a class action lawsuit for $5 million on the weekend. Who knew? So I should just be able to write up to San Ysidro and get a check from Oprah today. It's Sunday. That's fine. Apparently, you can do stuff like this on the weekend. Who knew? But a $5 million lawsuit by, I wrote it down, Brad Sohn Law Office, SOHN, another Zionist name. So I'm seeing Zionists all over this thing, everybody. All over it is what I'm seeing. You had the mayor, who is a Latino. No disrespect to my Latinos, viva la raza. But he's already saying the county, the city, the state, and the federal government all agree that no expense will be spared to take care of the victims and anyone affected or any of their loved ones. That means you don't have to live at the bitch and you're going to get a check. You see what I'm saying? Wait now. Engineers, what did I write? Engineers were there the day before doing a recertification. I should mark these off as I read them so I don't read them more than once. These were my findings. I was just making little notes. I circled this one. Engineers are baffled, was the quote from the dude I was just telling you about, that he was up there speaking. He's a structural engineer and he was talking around the shit like, but And so that was the main thing that I wrote. I said, I circled it. Engineers are baffled. They have a class action lawsuit, and it's not just for victims, it's for anyone that knew them. $5 million lawsuit. Also, I put a question here. Where are the 911 calls? Nobody called from the building? There was no 911 call? There was nothing oily about the Jedi's face, and nobody's telling me, Jedi, you look like some bullshit right now. You need to get off camera and sit your ass down? Where are the 911 calls, everybody? Where are they at? I've not heard a 911 call. If you've heard a 911 call, please let us know. But I that's one of the things that came to mind. Where are the 911 calls? I already told you fire and rescue showed up immediately, like that. Also, here's a picture that I took from one of the news reports. Remember, I just showed you the chick, and I said, what's her last name? What's her last name? She was standing out there talking. Bitch's last name was Cohen. As she was speaking, they showed this picture. That would be... Did I take a picture of it? Screenshots. The Jedi does his work. Yes, because I took a picture of her bitch ass. Here it is. I first took a picture of her bitch ass. And as she was speaking, they showed this. Who knows what that is? As she was speaking, they showed this. Type what it is. Do it now. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Thank you. Video files. Thank you. That is a menorah, ladies and gentlemen. And she began to talk about, well, we have to find them because, it's part of our Jewish spiritual traditions require that the person is given a proper burial. She's right, because I always tell you, the Orthodox Jew is the cousin of the Muslim. Our faiths are like this. Y'all be marching people around for a month and a half and talking about all the shit they did and this. It's about holiness for us. Get them in the ground, let's pray for them, and be over it. You understand? It's about setting them off properly into the next life with prayers and the words of God and things like that. Not that I think she's an Orthodox Jew or somebody that's holy, but the fact of the matter is that's what's written all over this. This happens on a Friday, and you just had Netanyahu lose the fucking election on June the 13th in fake-ass Israel. And after serving some unprecedented amount of terms or years or whatever it was, there's a connection here. There's a connection. Do you understand? There's a connection. There's a connection. What else did I make note of? Roof work was being done. I think I told you that. And I put question marks behind it. It was on its 40th year inspection. Buildings are inspected every 40 years. This building was only built in the 1980s, by the way. So it's not an old building. In fact, when this engineer was up there speaking, the bitch that was interviewing him, that was sitting at the desk in the studio, said, she goes, yeah, it's one of those old buildings with old technology and, an old something like that. He goes, actually, it's, those are materials we're still using to this day. Like, basically, those aren't old materials, bitch, and go back to the engineering school and learn. He didn't say that last part, but I did. I wrote white Jews everywhere. The Then you had other witnesses that say they heard a bolt of lightning. I think they were just misspeaking because you don't hear a bolt of lightning, obviously. I'm sure they meant thunder. Said they heard a bolt of lightning. So we know that was thunder, which means they heard an explosion. Then Netanyahu just, okay, I've told you about Netanyahu. The menorah. The mayor says all resources will be used. I even underlined it twice. I told you about that. Fire and rescue shut up immediately. Where are the 911 calls? The $5 million lawsuit. Now, lastly, we want to now go to building collapse in Florida. Now, we'll just read the one from 1 hour ago. The point of me doing this is to, as we're talking about it, we want to see what are they saying right now. After everything that I just brought you, with just my findings thus far, what are they saying right now? This is CNN 1 hour ago. At least 9 dead after partial building collapse near Miami. What we know so far. At least 9 people are dead, officials said Sunday during a news conference. There are at least 152 people missing after a residential building partially collapsed in Surfside, Florida, Thursday. Okay, I said Thursday. It was on Friday because it was 1:30 in the morning. Search and rescue teams are racing to find survivors. Emergency officials are also asking people to call 305-614-1819 if they have relatives who are unaccounted for, so they can get a fucking check. You see what I'm saying? The cause of the collapse is still unknown. Favorable weather and functional trench made for productive day as debris site official at debris site officials say. Here's the other thing too. The bitch that I told you was talking to the engineer and was trying to talk about, oh, it was built in the 1980s and it was old and old and old. She also said, well, we also know the building had been sinking too. Wasn't there some reports the building had been sinking for some years? And he goes, yeah, but sinking would not give you a universal collapse. Like, they immediately ended the interview like, okay, let's just be done with him because we're not going to really get him to say, they want him to be an unwilling corroborator of their bullshit, and he wasn't playing along. It's like I tell you, sometimes you can be a product of a conspiracy and you don't even know it. So this is one of those cases where they were trying to suck him in to be a part of this, and he's just maintaining what he knows. One thing about engineers and architects is this is what they do for a living. They build shit. They're just know-it-all people that's what they do. And, you know, they're usually pretty serious people, so it is what it is. Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Levine said Sunday evening that favorable weather and a functional trench through the debris site continues to provide her with optimism in the wake of Thursday's partial building collapse, calling the search and rescue teams heroic. Levine Cava told reporters, it's an inspiration to all of us and to people all around the world. They're working, getting a fire and the smoke under control. Why do you have smoke and why do you have fire? Because what we saw was pyroclastic flow. That's high heat gases that make that cauliflower smoke thing. You understand? But after the fact, if you've got fire and regular smoke, where do you get the fire that's causing the smoke? Unless you've got high heat explosives that pull this entire fucking thing down. You want to tell me there was a gas line? Oh, all the gas lines in all the condos broken. Oh my God, there's all this gas. So that says to me, you're on the right track, Jedi. It's in Florida. It wasn't gas. There's electric. Probably they had electric appliances in these damn condos. And therefore, That's why we're not seeing all this gas needs to be turned off, and there was threat of nobody smelling gas. And think about it. If something happens at your house, if you have a gas stove, you won't smell some gas. You break the line. No reports of gas lines. You understand? Somebody said, don't forget batteries. Yeah. Where are they at? They're working. Getting a fire and the smoke under control was very pivotal, and the good weather today were two very positive developments in the search, and they have allowed the search and rescue efforts to move forward without some of the previous challenges that we have faced. Cava and Miami-Dade County Fire Chief Alan Kaminsky, another Zionist, said that the trench that crews created by cutting through the rubble provided opportunities to suppress smoke and smoldering fires, as well as create a higher level of access to aid in their research, in their search. You see, to suppress smoke and smoldering fires, plural. This is high heat explosives, everybody. That's how you get fires. Remember 9/11? They couldn't get down at the pile. You couldn't stand on the pile. They were hot for months. For months. They couldn't put out the fires because they were dealing with thermate. And it creates its own oxygen, so it can burn for fucking eternity. The mayor also pleaded with families with missing loved ones to fill out police reports, as there are still some family members that detectives have not been able to reach and who have not opened police reports. I'm sure they did that to our brothers and sisters in New Orleans after Katrina. They want you to fill out so they know if you had somebody missing, so you could come back. What's that? They didn't, and they gentrified the bitch, and they blew up the levees on purpose. Oh, okay. Strike what I said, everybody. Strike what I said. Forget that. Okay. The site is open 24 hours a day. We're taking DNA swabs from everybody at that location. So if relatives come in, we will take DNA swabs. This will be critically important for identification, Levine Cava said. So the only way you need to take a DNA to say if that's your family members, if your family member is not in one piece. Like on 9/11, people were jumping out of the windows because explosions were going off in the building that we couldn't see, hear, or know about. That's why people were jumping out of the buildings. That's why people were finding body parts on roofs and in alleys and between buildings and shit many years after the fact, because they were blown to bits. And so when I read a paragraph that says the site is open 24 hours a day, we're taking DNA swabs from everybody at that location. So if relatives come in, we will take DNA swabs, and this will be critically important for identification. For identification, that means you can't just look at them and say, this is your mom. Is that her? That means mama ain't in one piece. Are you following me? The mayor said she is overwhelmed with the outpouring of support from around the world over one fucking building, adding that the support Surfside Fund has already raised more than $1.2 million. It's Sunday, bitch. How long did I sit here saying donate to the Cash App? Donate to the GoFundMe. 1.2 million. It's Sunday. I'll just look at my calendar in case I'm wrong. Yep, it's Sunday. But the Support Surfside Fund has already raised more than 1.2. And for people who don't math, that's 1,200,000. And, okay, Surfside officials assured residents Champlain Towers South Building was in, quote, very good shape, end quote, days after receiving report warning of, quote, major structural damage, end quote. I don't give a damn how much structural damage you had. This thing had to be a total, I mean, everything that held it up had to be nothing but a fucking feather stack for it to all uniformly collapse that quickly. It doesn't happen, everybody. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a physicist. You understand? I'm not an architect. I'm just the Jedi. Give me a second, Charles. Okay. First, now I want to quickly come to y'all because I've rattled on and I know y'all are fiercely talking and I want to pause this and come to you. It's just that I try to hold out because once I come to you, then we get into discussion and I like to try and lay out my stuff first, you feel me? So I don't not tell you the things that are on my soul and what I mean to tell you. I hate this too, so nothing can be done. All right, where's my channel? Let me shout out Sean Scott. Miss Gen X, shout out to you. Yes, Black Power every hour. Cheryl Bryant, Jedi, good to hear from you. Shout out to you, Queen. What a surprise to see you pop up on my notification. Didn't think you would do a broadcast tonight. Good evening. I try to keep my word. I said I'm gonna try and be here Sunday, so here I am. Shout out to CJ Stevenson. Shalom and salam, my queen. Adriano Stafford, yes, discussing this. Air quotations, collapse, side eye emoji. Imhotep, salam, Jedi, peace and blessings. Well, peace and blessings to you, Imhotep. Cheryl, I don't remember you stating you were going to discuss the collapse of Chaplin Towers, which is just outside of Miami, actually north of Miami Beach, Florida. Kiara Irvin, yeah, remember I told you guys, we talked about it at some point in the last stream, Cheryl, and I was saying, I don't know enough then, and that I would just let me go learn what I can learn, and then I'll come back and tell y'all what I think, today. Sweet D, shout out to Kiara Irvin if I didn't already. Sweet D, they don't even try to be sneaky about their racism anymore, Cheryl, good evening to my black family and those who are descendants of former slaves here in America. My foundational black American family. Sean, Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida. Was that in Florida too, Sean? Interesting. That club was in Florida. That makes this even more interesting. Jay Allison, I missed the beginning. Glad to see you. Well, you didn't miss too much. And I wasn't on this topic. I started out with something else. Shout out to Original Jewess. Sweet D, it came down just like the Twin Towers, just like it. In fact, I want to show y'all some video of the Twin Towers and Building 7, you know, especially Building 7, because it really is the smoking gun, because it's at a football field and a half away from the Twin Towers. It was not hit by an airplane on the day. It was a steel reinforced building, very modern, had been, it was 47 stories. It would have been the tallest building in 39 states. But obviously next to the Twin Towers, everything looks like nothing. Giuliani, the devil, who we hope is about to die, or is dead, they had several floors of it reinforced to be his command bunker for the very type of event that took place on 9/11. It had its own water supply, its own oxygen supply. It was had been reinforced to withstand the highest category of hurricane and tornado, and bulletproof and all of that. And in 6 seconds, it went down into its own footprint. 47-story building, was not hit by an airplane, was not mentioned in the official report. So unknown was this building that they literally came up with a website called buildingwhat.com or .org, one of those. Building 7, bitch. It was called the Solomon Brothers building. And then there was a bitch from the BBC on the day reporting it had collapsed, and it was sitting right the fuck behind her. The Building 7, the Solomon has collapsed. But it's right behind you, bitch. So somebody knew it was going to collapse. And mind you, no steel reinforced structure since God said be to Adam has ever collapsed due to fire before or since 9/11. But on that day, the Twin Towers plus Building 7 plus the Pentagon. I doubt it. Moving on. Night Reaper. I heard John McAfee had an apartment there. Weird, the building goes down the day after he passed away? Really? I'll make note of that. On what? No space on this. I'm too fat to get off my bed. I'm not writing on the envelope. My freaking birth certificate just came back in. This will work. John McAfee. And you're saying he just died? Check this out. Nothing could stop me up all the way up north. Shout out to you. Hey fam. The building was built in the 1980s, all the way up. No, that's Night Reaper. No, that's all the way up north. Yeah, it was built in 1980 something, so it's 40 years old. Yeah. They just had its recent recertification, like the day of or the day before or something like that. And I'm not sure how they're categorizing the day of and day before, because remember, this thing happened at 1 a.m. in the morning, 1:30 a.m., nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. And like the engineer said, nobody would have been up doing any work on the building. He was that engineer. Like, they don't want to. I don't think we're going to see him on TV again. Like, I think they're good on him. He seemed suspicious of it already. Come on, turn, damn. I'm gonna look up that McAfee thing, though, because that would definitely be an interesting piece. to all of this. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. Oh, by the way, y'all need to thumbs up. If you're sitting watching the stream, you need to thumbs up the stream. I'm sitting in front of you live. Respect my house by hitting the like button. Do it now. Thank you very much. Shout out to Original Jewess if I didn't already. Night Reaper. Okay, that's exactly where I'm at. Then Night Reaper says building was 40, answering you all the way up north. Kimberly Dawn. Jesus loves you. No, he doesn't, Kimberly. Jesus does not love you. Jesus was sent for one people, for one time. He is not the Savior of the world. He is not the Son of God, nor is he God come as a man. I'm sure if I lived at the time of him, he probably would love me because I'm a nice person. But he didn't love everybody. You'll remember he chastised people and all those sorts of things. You understand? Jesus don't love you. He don't know you, and he ain't checking for you. But shout out to you, Kimberly Dawn. I love you. Melanin 100. What's up, Queen? Shalom. Back to you. Nothing could stop me. Nowadays, developers throw up these buildings too quick for me. They cost $300,000 and is as stable as a house of cards. They do build things quickly now, but you must remember that, you know, even airplanes now, you know, like the materials, most of which they're getting out of Africa, by the way, you know, new composites and things like that they can make things a lot quicker and a lot stronger, you know. But tried and true is the, you know, reinforced concrete when it comes to things like apartments and condominiums, depending on what region of the country you live in. Some materials you could never use here in California because we have earthquakes all the damn time, but certainly in a place like Florida, you know, and the building has stood for 40 years, like the engineer said. It's been standing there for 40 years. So for it to just suddenly just give up, this is not, we can't accept this. Sophia Sanders, that's a name I don't think I've seen. I think this is a replay of 9/11. It certainly has its markings, Sophia. I love your name, by the way. Nothing could stop me. Really, at right rapper? Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Sophia. Oh, and Ron. Somebody. Gonna do nothing. I live in Florida, by the way. You talking about Ron, the fucker that stole the damn election? And I feel so bad you live in Florida, Sophia. We'll just weep for you, sister. Night Reaper. You can go on YouTube and watch imploded buildings all day and they look just like this. That's precisely the truth. All the way up north. I hope y'all come out strong to vote for Val Demings, Sophia. Just talking to you. Damn, 40 years old. I'm surprised it collapsed like that. Again, we're not going to use the word collapsed. How we think and speak is how we relate and react. You always hear me say. So we're not going to use collapsed. We're going to use imploded because that's what that describes. If we talk to somebody in 50 years who doesn't know anything about this event, words will matter how we talk about this event. So what's going to give them the visual of what we saw? A building imploding or collapsing? Yes, hit the thumbs up, everybody. Hit the like button. If you're here, hit the like button. Stop being lazy and disrespectful, most of all, to my humanity and my time and my energy. I'm not here for your entertainment. You know, this is a two-way communication. And so you need to thumbs up the stream or go your bitch ass away. Where are my moderators? Let me get rid of this white devil. Burness says insurance fraud. Well, interesting, because the lawyer that's bringing the $5 million thing talked about, they had a segment on the insurance, and he said that he broke it down. He said, you know, obviously each condominium owner would have insurance for what they call walls in. That means anything inside your walls, you would be insured for that. But when something like this happens, obviously that would be the liability of the owner of the building. And he said he would not be surprised, as he's seen in the past, where insurance companies try and wiggle and find some clause where they don't have to pay out money. But these are Zionists, and I'm sure there are Zionists running the fucking insurance company, and they definitely gonna get a check. It's not a problem. You understand? Every time you move the phone, I get lost. Okay, I saw that. I saw that. Sophia, my neighbor's people said I was crazy for saying it was an explosion. Well, they need to sit down, and you can tell them I said. Brooks Looks, shout out to you. J9, shout out to you. We need to be vigilant, J9. You know what I'm saying. I guess they will ask for reparations and will sue the Miami government. I love that shadiness. Oh my God, then reparation checks must be running out. the reparation checks must be running out. Yes, of course I got my punch. Melanin, my condolences and sympathy goes out to the victims and family, but I am relieved that it's not our people. I think you meant caught up, because you're going to proofread before you hit send. I can read this a lot smoother if you use punctuations and type the way you talk. My condolences, and that's to everybody, goes out to the victims and family, but I am relieved that it's not our people caught up in this. And thank goodness for the wealth division, as it's a wealthy area engineered. Yeah. This is where the fancy folks, you know, this is probably some, you know, vacation condo or some bullshit. For only devils to live there. Charlotte Scogans, good to see you. It's been a minute since I've seen you, Charlotte. And thank you. I don't think so, but I thank you for the compliment. And thank you again to Video Files 99, who typed menorah when I asked. Anjane 23, my queen. What's up, my sister? Sheba Bay. Sheba Bay. Or is it Sheba Bay? Wow, Jedi, I haven't saw one of your videos in a while. Was a loyal watcher. I swear I was sitting here thinking about how odd this story was and what the media isn't telling us, and your vid popped up. That's the universe, baby. That's the universe. You experienced it in real time. That's how it happens. You look great. Well, thank you so much, Charlotte. And thank you for that comment, Sheba Bay. I'm just gonna say because I'm not really sure how you're saying that. Um, I don't know. Song that shouldn't go together. That's really your name? J9, Anjane, somebody get rid of this songs that don't go together because this person does not go with us. Anjane, it's been said that John McAfee had a hard drive with info on it that would expose corruption in the government, and it was in that building. See, that's the type of stuff. Feel me? So I have more work to do because I didn't know this. I made a note of the when somebody else mentioned John McAfee has an apartment there now or a condo, and that he died or something. And then now this hard drive. Let me write that down. Brian Simpson, shout out to you. This is reminiscent of the Twin Towers on 9/11. It just is. Don't talk to this songs that shouldn't go together, Anjane. We're getting rid of that person because they don't go with us. Soror Adriana says, I think it was terrorism. I don't think so. I would like that, but sadly I don't think that's what it is. I think this is more in the playbook, Adriana, of the McAfee thing that Anjane and others are mentioning, and something. Well, actually, I take that back. I could allow that. I wouldn't use the word terrorism. I don't think. I think I would use this is somehow deliberate. Like it's not like a terrorist thing. That it's more like espionage or, something like that. Sheba. I'm just gonna call you Sheba. Sheba says the mayor was annoyed with any questions about causes during her press conference. See what I'm saying? The moment they get annoyed, that's a problem. You feel me? Like, why you getting annoyed? You must be guilty. Or you must know something. Anjane, also, whenever engineers are baffled, it's a conspiracy. They didn't need to blow up the World Trade Center either. They could have just made up more lies. Or they could have just made up more lies, yeah. Water Traveler, Jim DeFide with CBS Miami did the interview, I believe. D. Russell, shout out to you. Hello, Jedi. I saw on the local 10 channel that you showed, which shows the building collapse, had shown 911 calls to dispatch on their broadcast. Okay, remember, I appreciate that, D. Russell, because remember I said, you guys, if you've heard of any 911 calls, let me know. I'm always happy to be wrong, but I didn't know of any 911 calls. Where were the 911 calls? Oh my God, and it just, you hear that. So D. Russell is saying that that she saw on the local 10 channel, which shows the building collapse, had shown 911 calls to dispatch on their broadcast. Sweet D, your research is phenomenal. I humbly thank you, but I see where I've got a lot more work to do, D. I really do. You know, because this McAfee thing is intriguing, but there's some sort of a Zionist fake Jew angle here somewhere. There's something. Rella D, what's up with you? Where are your my glasses? For what? Brian Simpson, a ritualistic sacrifice to usher in the summer solstice. I can walk with that. You know? I don't know what it is right now, but I can walk with that. Shiva, they were collecting DNA. So basically they can take that, say anybody died up in Mug with no proof of a body. I didn't think of it from that angle, and they could do that. But what they're representing is, if you know somebody that lived there, or you're a relative, I mean, if you're a relative of somebody that you know is missing, then for the love of God, come and give your DNA, so that if we find them, we can swab them and do a match and let you know if that was your loved one. You feel me? It's supposed to be innocent and innocuous, but I like your take on it. You know, that it could be something specious as well. Well, look, we know because we have the DNA. Odils Valdez, Odalis. Is this your real name? Listen, I call myself the Jedi, everybody, because my full name is Arabic. But I call myself the Jedi because in the Star Wars movies, Luke Skywalker represented the last of the Jedi. He was one endowed with the powers. He had the wherewithal, the desire. He was fearless. He was passionate about defending the Alliance from the Empire. All the other Jedi had been killed off. He was the last of the Jedi. All of the ancestors that have gone before me that I've known about and read about since I've been on Earth, Malcolm X, the Deacons for Defense, Nat Turner, Medgar Evers, people like that. All the people, Fannie Lou Hamer, Shirley Chisholm, anybody that came before me that fought, that had that spirit, that was ready to die and kill for the liberation and freedom of African people, I share that. And because I didn't hear my voice most of my life, and certainly when I became exposed to YouTube, I didn't hear anybody on YouTube speaking the way that I think and feel and speak. So I feel like I'm the last great voice, or certainly among them. And for that reason, I call myself the Jedi. But you all come in with these random names that mean absolutely nothing, that nobody could read. I would just urge you strongly, find some shit that's connected to you and then represent that proudly. You understand? And especially as somebody, when I'm on a live stream, I'm not here for popularity and to be seen in shit. I'm here to have a real conversation about an issue. And if you type something, I want to respond to you. So it just makes it easier for me if you have something I can relate to. Plus, if you have some shit that I can barely remember or barely pronounce, I'm probably not going to remember you. So it's a multi-layered thing for me. It's for you, most importantly, and it's for me and anybody else that be exposed to you. So maybe this is your real name. I didn't mean to just go in on you, Valdez, which I'm just going to call you Valdez because I don't really know how to say this first name. I think it's Odalis, but it could be Odalis. I don't know. But may the force be with you too. But I don't call myself the Jedi because of, being any fan of Star Wars. It's just a great metaphor that it describes me. Miss GNX Jedi, I know that was an oversight and misspeak, brother. You said white power every hour. Did I say that? Where's my punch? Nurse, bring me whatever killed Elvis. Do it! Thank you, Miss GNX. I love you so much. Thank you. And you know, I do know that there's been times when I see my streams back or any live video or any sometimes recorded video, and I go, I said that and kept going. You know, it'd be something I misspoke, and it's like, you know, so thank you for catching it and telling me. Sheba, laugh out loud. Giuliani ain't got much time left. I pray he is dying now as we speak. I had a long talk with God last night, everybody, right here on this bed. A long talk, a long prayer, asking the divine to make us victorious and to rid the earth of these people and all who study and practice deliberate unrighteousness and disobedience and evil upon humanity. I want them dead and to exist no more. And Giuliani, like, if I was, I just can't, like, die off. You understand? Like, ah, oh, damn it, you're not dead yet? Fuck. And like, I'm really bothered by it. Sophia, side note, Jedi is so cute. Oh, I think you mean the name, not me. Thank you. Initials, shout out to you. Satanic ritual is your comment. Pepperoni, I gave you thumbs dumb. Okay, that's fine, Ronnie. Where are my moderators? J9, let's get rid of these people. Anjane. Who else I got in the room? Cheryl. I need my troops. CJ. Let us rid ourselves of these inferior types who are not worthy to sit before me and be a part of us. Let's get rid of this. I'll get rid of this Dodge person. Oh, it says the person has been hidden by me. So they might be typing their evil and they think everybody's seeing it and they're not. Debbie Deb. I feel like that was a rapper back in the day. Love your live vids. Much love. This is very interesting. Pepperoni, you were just picking your nose in a live stream. I pick my nose, I pick my teeth, I pick my ass, Ronnie. If you don't like it, take your bitch ass someplace and die the fuck off. My hands are clean, and I always leave a little bit. As a Muslim, we keep our nails cut as men, but I always leave a little something on my pinkies just so I can pick my nose and pick my teeth and pick my ears and pick my ass. Yes, damn it. Sometimes I eat my own boogers too, Ronnie. D, if you was an explosion, why not all the buildings? Right. And again, that testifies to because with controlled demolition, that's why it's controlled demolition, because you can do things surgically. You could take out a whole section and not touch the shit that's next to it. You feel me? Controlled demolition. A Train. Hey, did you see the report on Israel engineers, in quotations, arriving from Israel today? No, I did not. Write that down. Um, um, okay, it looks like somebody got rid of this Vincent person. That's fine. I don't know who that was. J. Allison McAfee was suicide. That person is hidden. A Train. I heard about the McAfee thing too, and the prison. Epstein or suicide. Dark matter, melanin. Yes, indeed. Yes, dark matter. Ray Supreme. What's up, my brother? Good to see you. It's been a minute. D. Russell. On one of the calls, the caller said they heard an explosion or something that sounded like an explosion. Debbie Deb, OMG, Miss Gen X, laugh out loud, you are hilarious. Love you too, beautiful black man. Sheba, hi Jedi. The name is supposed to be Sheba Baby. Ah, okay, like the '70s movie. Yeah, I just realized it's spelled wrong. I rarely sign in with this account, but wanted to speak to you. Well, I appreciate that because that's intelligent. I love you. We good. And that's because I was like, is it Sheba or is it Sheba Bay? Or is it She Baby? She Baby? I'm familiar with Sheba Baby though. I wasn't born yet, but I know what it is. And so yeah, I appreciate you clearing that up for me, clearing it up for me, and also acknowledging that you didn't even realize that it was spelled wrong because you don't really use the account. So that's what I love. I love that. I don't know what this smells like nothing is. Somebody got rid of them. Shiro. Interesting, we were just talking about Shiba Baby. It's interesting you and I were just talking about Shiba Baby. This is Get Christy Love right here. Shiro. And Foxy Cleopatra. Hello King. Wait now. Hello King. And fam, just got home. My damn phone died on me. I sent you a text also, Queen. Valdez, yes, I'm Cuban from Miami. You could also call me Lali. Or yeah, Lali. You pronounced that perfectly. ¿Tú eres de Cuba? ¿Tú hablas español, señora? Sí. Necesito un resuelto. Anyways, while I'm waiting on you, so you know, maybe I'll look at the McAfee thing. I'll just put in a search for John McAfee. How about that? John McAfee. See what will the white whore tell us. Well, she's not going to speak now because I have it turned down so that I don't hear me. Boom, was. Anytime you read Google and you hear, if I was listening to it, you ask about somebody, say so is a so. As soon as you hear was, you go what? So David McAfee was, bitch, a British American computer programmer, businessman, and two-time presidential candidate who unsuccessfully sought the Libertarian Party nomination for president of the United States 2016 and 2020. Born 18th September, died 23rd June, bitch. Understand. Now we have to understand. How did John McAfee die? Barcelona.
Entrepreneur John McAfee, who created the eponymous antivirus brand, died by hanging in his prison cell on Wednesday after the Spanish High Court authorized his extradition to the U.S., his lawyer told Reuters.
That's why one of the
presidential candidate who unsuccessfully
that's why one of y'all was saying Epstein and the quotations. Who just did that? That was A-Train. Which I don't know who that is, because it's a cartoon. I'm over it. But you was right on point. A-Train. Also, the Surfside mayor, Charles Burkett. His interviews are very interesting. Everything out of his mouth seems that he thinks it was strange. He said, buildings in America don't just fall down. I did hear that. And you know, A-Train, I'm not really clear on these mayors because I thought I was watching a mayor, the Latino guy. And then we read something and they were speaking about a female, this Kava person or something. And now I don't know who's who down there. It's crazy. But now we just understand that this McAfee guy just died of alleged suicide, or they don't use the word suicide. Died by hanging in a prison cell on Wednesday after the Spanish court authorized his extradition to the U.S., his lawyers told Reuters. So, they didn't use the word suicide. But then underneath that, there's an article that says John McAfee dies by suicide in Spanish prison. You know, I obviously have well, I'll just show you. This is what I just read when I Googled him. There it is, Barcelona. All right? And then as you scroll up, then damn it, it's exactly the fucking thing I knew I wasn't trying to do. But as you scroll up, then you get to it. Then it says John McAfee died by suicide in a Spanish prison, blah, blah, blah. And then it starts to get into it. The next one, larger than life software mogul John McAfee dies in Spain. New York Times, John McAfee dies in Spanish prison. John McAfee, software magnate, found dead. Silicon Valley entrepreneur who died in a prison. John McAfee dies by suicide inside jail in Barcelona. So this is interesting. And you all are saying that he had some connection to this condo, right? Did John McAfee have a condo at Surfside condominiums in Florida? John McAfee didn't own condo in collapsed Florida building. This is from the Associated Press. It's the first thing that came up. Let's read it. John McAfee didn't own condo in collapsed Florida building. Claim, : the late John McAfee, the creator of McAfee antivirus software, which never works for anybody. If you're out there and you have Windows, use Windows Defenders, bitch. It's free and I've never had a problem. Glory be to Allah. But what is this? What's happening? Oh, this is one of those things as you go down, the video comes up. Anyways, creator of McAfee bullshit owned a unit in the condo building that partially collapsed Thursday outside Miami, and 31 terabytes of his files were located inside. Period. That's it. That's claim. That's the claim. Semicolon. You see, claim, and then everything that I just read. So I guess they're gonna answer that. Then there's the Associated Press assessment, which I'm gonna read now. False. McAfee, who was found dead in his jail cell near Barcelona on Wednesday, didn't own property at the beachfront Chaplin Towers South Condo in Florida. According to an Associated Press review of public records, an image of a tweet in which McAfee claims to own such a property is fabricated. Just a second. So he tweets saying he owns a property there, but that wasn't true? Just a second. An image of a tweet in which McAfee claims to own such a property is fabricated. Why would somebody fabricate that? The fact, and then now the next semicolon, it just stops. So now the next colon says the facts. That's the title. At the close of a week that included the prison death of an eccentric security software prison pioneer and the collapse of a 12-story oceanfront condominium tower near Miami, social media users hatched false conspiracy theories that bounded the two unrelated events together. Listen, of all the conspiracies and all the bullshit people do online, you want me to believe that somebody just heard about him dying in Barcelona and then then this 12-story shit is blown up on fucking Friday and they go, let's put them together. Nah, we're going for another source. This is Associated Press, so they can kiss our entire ass and die off. All right, let's find something else. The LA Times, not in love with them either. The Miami Herald, widow seeks thorough investigation. Let's go to that. This is the Miami Herald. Widow seeks thorough, bitch, investigation into John McAfee death. Is that her? Probably not. Santesteve Sesrovirus. The widow of John McAfee, the British-American tycoon who died in a Spanish prison this week while awaiting extradition to the United States on Friday, demanded a thorough investigation. So just a second, he's about to be extradited and he kills himself in a Spanish prison? While awaiting extradition to the United States on Friday, demanded a thorough investigation of his death, saying her husband did not appear suicidal when they last spoke. Authorities in Spain are conducting an autopsy. That seems like unjurisdictional. Okay, I die in Spain, but it seems like my body would be shipped back here for any autopsies, especially if I was hanging. You don't really need to autopsy me. You understand what I'm telling you? Unless you've killed me there and now you're altering the body some kind of way. You feel me? And I didn't really die of hanging. Authorities in Spain are conducting an autopsy. Who doesn't? Just anybody else find this bizarre? On his body, but have said that everything at the scene in his cell indicated that the 75-year-old killed himself. So then why are you doing an autopsy? If everything at the scene in his cell indicated that he killed himself. So why are you doing an autopsy? An official source familiar with the investigation told the Associated Press that a suicide note had been found in his pocket. That means nothing. The source, who was not authorized to speak about an ongoing judicial inquiry, refused to comment on the content of the note. Nah, you don't get to put it out there and play cat ass. You feel me? You show it to me, I better get some, or don't show it to me. You feel me? This is that. So the source, an official source familiar with the investigation, told the Associated Press that a suicide note had been found in his pocket. The source was not authorized to speak about an ongoing judicial inquiry, refused to comment on the content of the note. You see how cat and mouse that is, dude? That was some bullshit we just read. McAfee's Spanish lawyer, Javier Villa, they must not have spelled this right. I don't know what his last name is. It's Villa something. Said that the family had not been informed by authorities about the note. So his lawyer said the family has not been informed by authorities about the note. Yet the previous paragraph said, saying an official source familiar with the investigation told. But the lawyer says the authorities, his lawyer said that the family has been informed by authorities, have not been informed by authorities about the note. In her first public remarks since the software entrepreneur's death on Wednesday, McAfee's widow, Janice McAfee, said she wanted a, quote, thorough investigation, end quote, to provide, quote, answers about this was able to happen, end quote. I'll just read it again because I don't know what we read. In her first public remarks since he died, Janice said she wanted a, quote, thorough investigation, end quote, to provide, quote, answers about this was able to happen. I'll have to buy a vowel because I think it meant answers about how this was able to happen. I don't know. Quote, his last words to me were, I love you and I will call you in the evening, end quote. 38-year-old told reporters outside the Brains 2 penitentiary northwest of Barcelona, where she recovered her late husband's belongings. She said they spoke earlier on the day he was found dead. Those words are not words of somebody who was suicidal, she said. John McAfee was arrested at Barcelona airport in October last year on a warrant issued by prosecutors in Tennessee who were seeking up to 3 decades of imprisonment for allegedly evading more than $4 million in taxes. I'm over it. The day before he was found dead, Spain National Court had announced that it was agreeing to his extradition to the U.S., but the decision was not final. Just a second. So he hops town over $4 million lousy dollars? John McAfee has more. We'll just see what his net worth was. So we're going to not read any more of this because how much more is it left? We don't need to read all this. We're over it. But it's intriguing now. Listen, $4 million is not no money for a John McAfee. So you want me to believe he skipped town because he owed $4 million? Not to mention that the 16th Amendment was never ratified, and nobody's supposed to be paying this bitches any fucking taxes at all. The IRS is not a federal agency. It's about as federal as FedEx, bitch. Do you understand? When John McAfee and anybody else gets up on these taxes the government claims if you owe them, you march into a court and you say, show me the law. And they can't. Have a whole piece on the channel about that. You also want to Google Sherry Peel Jackson because she's walking around the earth. She used to work for the IRS. And she's telling people, like, somebody put out a challenge years ago in a newspaper, like, we'll give you $10,000 or some bullshit, or $100,000 if you can prove that we have to pay federal income tax. And she worked at the IRS then. She goes, well, I worked for the agency. I'm just like, I'll go get the law and show it and get the money. Until she couldn't find the law. And now she tours the country letting people know this is some bullshit. It's a sister. Let me come back to you all before I go on. If I'm going to go on with John McAfee drama, let me come back to you. And let me see if there's anything else that I had maybe taken pictures of that I was supposed to show you that I don't remember. There was this one from that one report when I was like, what's on his head? What's on his head? Just so we're clear. You see, there he is. I'm over it. This was the helicopter shot. You see what I'm saying? That's not a collapse, everybody. Anytime you're in with little particles, like where's the sofas? Where's the dishwashers? Where's the fucking, just anything that's in a goddamn house? Where is it? Where is it? You see, once you give me just like fucking Bosnia rubble and shit, I don't believe you. That's more high tell sign that nah. And then this exposed piece, and I showed you guys in my last piece, the Uhura building in Oklahoma that Timothy McVeigh and crew blew up. It's the exact same thing. You feel me? So how come this didn't go with the rest of it? Why? Why? There's the street, but this is the back end. I need you to understand what you're looking at. Wait. Yeah, I pointed it out right. This is the street, you know, where that reporter, and I was like, look at the building behind her. That's like, this is the part that faces the ocean. This faces the water, you know. I can't. This is some bullshit. Damn it. Oh, that's for another piece. Damn it. D. Russell says, I thought that too about the Mayor Jedi. AJ Rod. Our mayors don't even know who they are themselves. Damn. Florida is so backwards. Lali. Yes. Si, senor. Anjane McAfee said he would never commit suicide, and he even got it tattooed on his arm. Wow. That's crazy. Now we're gonna have to go back to the McAfee article because that's probably gonna be in that article. Lali, I seen buildings in demolitions Dull Star in the middle and then fall on the sides, and that's exactly what happened. It was a well-controlled demolition. Like, that's just facts. Let's pull up building 7, everybody. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? The collapse of building 7, World Trade Center. First, let's see, is this some bullshit? Come on, man. What's up for bullshit? Okay. Okay, perfect. Now, this is not a building collapsing. You can't even use that word. This is a building becoming dust in front of your eyes. Look at that. Dust, dust, dust. No resistance from the bottom. You see these squibs that are coming out. That's the sign of controlled demolition. It's being blown up many floors in front of the demolition wave. I picked this random. I have no idea who this is. Oh, they're breaking it down, and we don't care. We just want the image of it. What's this? I think they're showing the Uhura building in Oklahoma. Is this it? Wait. Yeah, that's the Oklahoma building. They're showing it in that video. In this video, they're showing the Oklahoma building, which looks a lot like our condos in Florida right now. Go back. I thought I went back. I don't know what I did. Shit. Anyways. Yeah, there's the Oklahoma building. After they get this kid out of the way. That's our condos. That's the Oklahoma building. But it looks just like the shit. The condos. Look. Same thing. Same idea. You see what I'm saying? I want to show you building 7. That's what I came here to do when I did this search right now. I just got sidetracked by that. And it is the smoking gun because it was not hit by a bomb. I mean, it was not hit by an airplane. And they don't have an excellent explanation for it. It was not mentioned in the final in the official report. They've since put out stuff to combat the truth because there's so much brouhaha over it, but too late, homie. In fact, even this is from the National Institute of Technology, which we don't trust a fucking thing they say. Which way should I be holding this? Whatever. Just work with me, y'all. And forgive my fingerprints all over everything. There it is. There's building 7. You'll see the penthouse go down first. Watch it closely. You saw that? I'll go back. That's classic controlled demolition. Take out the penthouse first. Am I going the wrong way? Oh, because I was going forward. See, I'm turned around. I was tapping forward. Wait. There it is. Watch the penthouse. There it goes. Tumbles the penthouse. And down it'll crank in the middle. Kink. Windows come out. Goes down to its own footprint in 6 seconds. 47 stories of elevators and escalators and toilets and shit. Office equipment. All the shit that would be in a building a big ass, plus Giuliani's bunker and all the shit with its own air supply and its own water supply and all the shit, 6 seconds into its own footprint on 9/11. Don't tell me shit. Don't look me in the eyes. Don't come near me. Let me see if I can get one more. Wait. Damn it, son of a bitch. That was 9/11. The sister was saying explosion. Even the media on that day was like it was an explosion. But all of you need to go and watch the video that I have here on the channel that I produced. It was one of my earliest pieces. It's one of the few things that survived or that I still had on my computer from my old channel. You know, I don't have a lot of those anymore because the whole channel fucking went away. But I had that one and it's here on the channel. I produced that video over the course of 2 weeks. 2.5 weeks, I think it might have been, that I produced that 9/11 video. It was a lot of work. But I'm showing you every clip, every interview. I'm telling the story from beginning to end. I start off with JFK assassination to help you understand what one of my themes that I run throughout the whole piece, this concept of conspiracy. And I tell you why. I take you from JFK, then I start you out at the Pentagon and give you all of that so that I can really help you understand how everything happened at the Pentagon, all the interviews, all the footage. I used all of it. It's there. Then we go to New York, and then it's a whole thing. But this is meant to take people from beginning to end, so that when you finish seeing that video, you are an expert on what fucking happened on 9/11, and you're ready. You're prepared now to speak with anybody who wants to have the conversation that's trying to buy the official story bullshit. You understand? You're ready. You're ready. You are ready. You're ready. And this is some bullshit. We just have to understand why, though. That's our only issue now, is just trying to understand. Okay, we know this is some bullshit. We saw with our own eyes it's controlled demolition. And now we just have to understand why. Why was it done? Is there a connection with Weinstein? Is there something to do with Netanyahu and his losing the election on the 13th? Is there something to that and the other insinuations that you all have made? You know, what is it? What is it? What is it? That's what we need to now know. This is also profound. Anjane saying that McAfee said he would never commit suicide, and he even got it tattooed on his arm. That's I mean, come on. Khalifa of the Most High. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Oh man, you ain't late. I'm mad I'm late. Shit. I've been on here a lot longer than I thought I was going to be. Shout out to Siri, my songbird. How you doing, my sister? McAfee is, if you ever heard of like antivirus for your computer, You've seen it, like back in the AOL days. It usually came with McAfee. Probably if you got a computer now, it just comes with McAfee antivirus or something. You've seen it. You've seen it. Even if you never seen the dude, like I couldn't pick him out of a lineup right now, but that's how I know who it is. um, Khalifa, to me, the owner knew they were in trouble with that building. Too costly to remove, so they decided to pull it. Yeah, see, Khalifa knows some stuff right there. You feel me? Plus, this is what he does. But yeah, and remember Weinstein? So it was so much loss of life that they decided to pull it, and then they made that decision to pull, and we watched the building collapse. Weinstein, he's 6,000 years old. Everybody, we did the carbon dating. Miss Christie is definitely suspect. Yes, indeed. But the timing, again, the timing, the implications, the location, a 12-story condo, beachfront, why? Why now? Why this condo? Why now? Why? It's not random. It's not random. And it even more telling is the fact that we know Florida is prime real estate. A lot of people retire to Florida, all over Florida, quite frankly. We know that even if you don't want to retire there, a lot of times people, because of their health, doctors will tell them it's better for them to live in Florida or California. If they live someplace else, like you need to take your ass to California or Florida because those are just better for your health. And they have to get an answer to this very quickly, because all that property, and then eventually whoever the builder is going to be insinuated in this. Literally the builder, the contractor that built the bitch, is going to be insinuated at some point. And you have a level of unsafety and fear going on of people out there in the Florida area, just because they're just like, well, if they're built, because they're not thinking how we're thinking and scrutinizing this as a staged event done by nefarious hands. They're just taking it in as, the retired people sitting on their Social Security check or their 401k or their whatever they had, and they just have, they're chilling in Florida now for their twilight years, and they're seeing this on TV, and they're worried. Well, does that mean a lot of the buildings are going to be collapsing now? And is this something? So they have to get an answer, because they don't want a mass exodus. You understand? From Florida. They don't want it. So there has to be a quick answer. It will be some bullshit, but they will have to come with a fast answer. Because white devils exist, Frankie, and shout out to you. Who was it that I just saw? Somebody just said something, said if you're not something, you're not. It was just another testify. I don't remember. Also, this is random, but I want to share this with you guys because, before I could get started, that's one reason why I didn't get started when I wanted to get started, because they had a memorial that Roland Martin was streaming live for Paul Mooney today. And I knew I was connected to that brother because I am a defiant motherfucker. I don't give a fuck. And either did Paul Mooney. You just tell it. But everybody that got up there, and they even had a couple of white devils that were there, would talk about how, literally white people would just get up and walk out of his show. But Robert Townsend really touched my heart. Actually, I didn't finish watching the whole thing. I think I was not too far from the end, because I'm just like, well, it's getting on now and I'm losing sunlight. I need to just go ahead and do this live, But Robert Townsend really took it home for me, because he he's just like I've met Robert Townsend, but not because of that. Just his, if you saw it, you go, yeah, that he just anyway. He broke down, and he has this thing that I do that I saw him do today. It's a whole thing. You got to go and watch it. But anyway, he was saying how when he first met Paul Mooney, Keenan Ivory Wayans introduced him to him, and then he went to a show, and he's just seeing all these white people walking out, like left and right, white people walking out, and Paul Mooney was like, he goes, I don't care if you walk out. I've given the niggers time enough to go ahead I've given the niggers time enough to rob your houses, or whatever he said, And or he had another one. He'd say when white people start walking out of his show, he'd go, well, we didn't walk off the plantation, I mean, just he really he existed in that place that I exist in. I don't give a fuck about what white people think, say, or feel. I'm over them completely. And he was bold in that way. Everybody that spoke on his behalf today, and they were at the Roosevelt Hotel, which I've stayed at that hotel. Very nice. Right on Hollywood Boulevard. You're just a G-strings throw from the Man's Chinese Theater, and the Kodak Theater and all of it, and blah. But they were at the Roosevelt Hotel, and I didn't like when this little fucking fake Zionist gets up there, Pauly Shore, with his profanity. I didn't know how to really place that, but then they were at the Roosevelt Hotel. Then the announcer said later, this ain't the funeral, it's just a celebration. I couldn't really see if there was drinks and stuff on the table or not, so I guess it was just kind of casual. There was music, Denise Williams performed, somebody else. Eddie Griffin came out. He was very inappropriate. I saw people using this as an opportunity to be seen and prop up themselves. I didn't like that. Eddie Griffin was one of them. He had on shades the entire time, and it was like he was doing it was like you came to see his show or something. And I don't really like him, and I don't think he's funny anyway, and I was really kind of put off by that. Chris Tucker did a video message live, but Robert Townsend was the one that really got my heart. I won't even tell his story to you. You should hear him tell the story, because it was beautiful and it was very touching. And I can't wait till I'm done with you all so I can watch it again, and then the stuff that I haven't seen. But everybody talked about how there was Steve Harvey, who couldn't get his video right, so they had to listen to him on a phone as they held it to a mic, and he was talking about he never really met Paul Mooney, but he interacted with them at a show, and he told a beautiful story and blah blah. But he kind of almost had to by default just confess that we're just punk bitches and we don't really have the courage that he had. And he didn't say these words, but this is inferred in what he said. You're going to listen to it. And I know that already. We don't have any Paul Mooneys. We don't have any Paul Mooneys. Those of us with the lion heart are a very, very small fraternity. Very, very small. Most of you don't know what it's like to be us. Me. I'll just speak for me. I'm not going to speak for them, I don't know what it is to be fearful and scared of shit, or to be afraid of consequence, when I know that what I'm doing is for the cause of what's right by any fucking standard. So what do I need to be afraid about? And there's no amount of money that matters a damn to me on earth, or material shit. So what you got? I'm not interested in power. So what else you got? You don't got shit. You understand? I'm not somebody that can be compromised, because the thing I value you can't touch or buy. And you can't take it from me. So what you got? You don't got shit. And that's how Paul Mooney was. You know, Maxine Waters, bitch ass, spoke via video. And she tried to use this as an opportunity, trying to get this don't use the N-word bullshit in there. Fuck you, bitch. We use the shit we want to, and we knock anybody in the mouth, anybody white in the mouth that we even think is going to say the shit. So take your bitch ass back to the Congressional Black Caucus and continue to not do shit for us, Maxine, that you haven't done for all the fucking years you've been up there. Take your ass, take your shit, take your ass. What do I do with y'all? Where's my phone? Oh. I just totally set y'all down. Khalifa, Jedi, I need a moderators. Yes, you do, my brother. Immediately. And I deeply apologize that you didn't have it before now. A lot of my people, there's times I'm on here, I'm like, how come you're not a moderator? Because I don't usually even think about moderators. Just like I'm not the guy to be on here, make sure you subscribe, make sure you subscribe and share and all this bullshit. If I'm sitting in front of people, I ask them to thumbs me up because it's just the highest disrespect. I'm sitting on fucking camera asking you for anything and you wouldn't do it. You feel me? But certainly that transfers to like the moderator thing. I don't really think about it, and so when I did, I just start, you know, my people that have been with me forever, I just thought, well, how come you're not a moderator? How come you're not? How come you're not? So I took care of that, Khalifa. And Siri, we didn't walk off the plantation. Boom, pap, boom, bap. Oh man, and they were all doing really good impressions of him too. I don't know who had the best one, probably Robert Townsend. They were all pretty good. To me, Ari Spears does the best impression of Paul Mooney, but of the ones that I saw today, I gotta give it to probably Robert Townsend, who I looked him up, and Robert Townsend is 60, he's almost 70. I'm like, what? I met Robert Townsend. When I met him at the Coliseum out in Anaheim, California. I was there to see Michael Jackson. It was one of the 3 times that I saw Michael in person. And this particular one, I had won a Michael Jackson lookalike contest. And that's how I had tickets to the Coliseum. And I met Robert Townsend that day, and he was fantastic. And but I didn't know how old he was then or now. And I just, when he was up there speaking, I decided to Google. I just wanted to know how old was he, and he's almost 70. What? He still looks exactly the same, dude. Like I'm done. Siri, I'm hearing this Jedi. Fear? Nope. Khalifa. Hosea Williams used to say, unbossed and unbought. I love that. Unbossed and unbought. That's what it is. That's it. That's it. That's it. Wow. I need to plug this in, y'all, because I can't. I just plugged in the wrong one? No, it's the right one. So those are my findings, everybody. I will follow up on the McAfee thing, and I'm going to continue to try and stitch the pieces of this together so that I can understand what and why this is, because I don't know the answer to that. And I also want to know, what is this a distraction from? Because there's probably some value, some distractory value being used here too, you know. It's not random. You saw the video. For anybody that came late, I'll just show the video real quick and then we'll go. You know, it's this is not, this was controlled demolition. Like, you know, a 5-year-old knows that. Wipe this off. I'm looking at it this way and you go that way, okay. Alright, wait, bitch. Alright, whatever. Mira. And then you'll see the second part go down. Straight down, no resistance. No resistance. They're going to show it again. There you go. That's not a building collapsing. That's just not. Give a damn. It's just like Building 7 that I showed you, or any other controlled implosion that we've ever seen. I brought you the lady saying it sounded like a bomb. The whole building shook. What did we hear? The people, the survivors of 9/11. The whole building shook, and then there was smoke. The whole building shook, and then there was smoke. The whole building shook, and then there was smoke. Like, you hear that so much, you want to stab your own eyes out. And what did she say? The whole building shook and there was smoke. Same thing. Why? I don't know. As I said to you, there's a bunch of these so-called Jewish-ass people, last names that we're seeing surrounding and involved with all of this. I told you about the $5 million class action lawsuit that has appeared out of nowhere on the weekend. Apparently you can just set up a full lawsuit on the weekend. Who has time to wait till Monday to call a lawyer? Who has time? And yeah, just the whole case that I laid out, you know. For those of you that didn't see it, then I just encourage you to go back and watch the replay on this, the beginning of this video, and you will see the case that I laid out regarding all of this, and why my findings are what they are. And I believe that yours will be the same. um, and you may even have more to add to it. But we're just not buying this, collapse bullshit. We're just kind of really over that. Khalifa, notice the flash suggests some sort of ignition point. Yes. And I suggested, and I also noted the pyroclastic flow too, Khalifa, because there's a difference. There's just dust from something hitting the ground, and then there's pyroclastic flow. And I believe that I'm identifying pyroclastic flow there, and also the fact that they are saying that there's fires. How's there a fire? Oh, because of high heat explosives. Oh, well. And they've got to put out the fires, and you know, and also for you all that I also read then, um, a article from CNN on it. After I laid out my case and I did all the thing, then I said, let's just go and see what they're saying right now as we're sitting here talking. And there was a article that said it's from 1 hour ago, and we read that. And so those are my findings, dude. That's where I'm at. For those of you who follow me on Jedi Africa, my other YouTube channel for my journey to Africa, I have a piece that I recorded for you, and I just was too lazy because whenever I go over, that means now either I just have to scrap that and do it another day, or I have to go on and it's going to be now a separate piece that I got to join together, which means I have to get up and go and upload, then transfer it to my PC and do all of that, and I didn't feel like it, and I just didn't want to do it. But I have another piece for you that should be up, we'll just say tomorrow, no later than Tuesday. So be looking for that on Jedi Africa. I want to say thank you to my moderators. Thank you to a shout out to anyone new that I've not ever seen you before and you've never witnessed me. To my my regular viewers and people that follow me, I want to say thank you. And God willing, we will be together. This month is running out kind of quickly. Today is the 27th. So therefore, I hope to see you. It's Sunday. I'll see you soon. To the Jedi Africa crowd, like I say, you should see something from me either tomorrow or Tuesday at the latest. And then here on this channel, God willing, I will see all of you soon. Thank you all for coming. And J9, I love you more. Have a good evening, everybody. I'll see you soon. This is the Jedi.